They started with a mission to make artificial intelligence open and safe for humanity. Today, they stand at the center of one of the most transformative and controversial technological revolutions in modern history. This is the story of OpenAI. How a non-profit research lab turned into a multi-billion-dollar force reshaping how we work, learn, and even think. Welcome to Glorica 26. In a world increasingly run by algorithms, OpenAI is the name on everyone's lips. From students writing papers to professionals drafting emails, from artists generating visuals to developers writing code, ChatGPT has become more than a tool. It's a cultural phenomenon. But behind the sleek interface lies a story of ambition, ethical dilemmas, corporate power plays, and one looming question. Will the intelligence we create ultimately control us? The idea for OpenAI was born in 2015, in a room full of dreamers and tech visionaries. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, John Schulman, and Wojciech Zaremba came together, driven by a shared concern. What happens when artificial intelligence becomes more intelligent than us? They believed that whoever developed AGI, artificial general intelligence, would wield enormous power, and that power had to be used responsibly. From the outset, OpenAI positioned itself as a non-profit, dedicated to ensuring that AGI would benefit all of humanity. The commitment was radical in Silicon Valley terms. Open research, collaborative development, and no proprietary walls. They wanted to build not just advanced systems, but a better future. But dreams are expensive. As OpenAI grew, so did the costs of training powerful models. The breakthrough came with GPT-2 in 2019, a language model so powerful that OpenAI initially refused to release it fully, fearing misuse. The public response was electric. It was clear that AI was entering a new era, and OpenAI was leading the charge. To keep up with the pace of innovation, OpenAI restructured. In 2019, they created OpenAI LP, a for-profit entity with a capped return structure under the non-profit umbrella. This unusual hybrid allowed them to attract capital while still claiming ethical stewardship. Critics weren't so sure. Some accused OpenAI of abandoning its principles. Others argued it was the only way to survive in a race increasingly dominated by tech giants like Google and Microsoft. And then came GPT-3. Released in 2020, GPT-3 stunned the world. With 175 billion parameters, it could write essays, generate poetry, solve problems, and hold conversations that felt eerily human. ChatGPT, launched in November 2022 and based on a refined version of GPT 3.5, was the tipping point. It went viral almost overnight, attracting millions of users and thrusting OpenAI into the global spotlight. But success brought scrutiny. Governments, educators, ethicists, and competitors began asking hard questions. Could ChatGPT be used to cheat, to spread misinformation, to replace jobs? Was this the beginning of a new golden age, or a dangerous leap into the unknown? Internally, tensions were rising. Sam Altman, once the idealistic president of Y Combinator, had become the charismatic face of OpenAI. Under his leadership, the company pushed forward at full speed. But not everyone was comfortable with the pace. In November 2023, the tech world was rocked by stunning news. Sam Altman was fired by OpenAI's board. The reason? Some board members believed Altman was moving too fast, prioritizing product development over safety. The backlash was immediate. Nearly every employee at OpenAI signed a letter threatening to resign unless Altman was reinstated. Investors, including Microsoft, which had poured billions into OpenAI, joined the protest. Just days later, Altman returned to his post, and the board that ousted him was replaced. The episode highlighted just how high the stakes had become. OpenAI was no longer just a research lab. It was a battleground of ethics, control, and vision. Today, OpenAI continues to evolve. With the launch of GPT-4 and beyond, They're pushing the boundaries of what AI can do. But the questions linger. Can we truly control systems that are designed to learn, adapt, and surpass human intelligence? And who gets to decide how this power is used? For every benefit AI brings, efficiency, productivity, accessibility, there's a cost. The risk of bias, surveillance, manipulation, and job displacement. The possibility that AI becomes so integrated into our lives that we can't function without it. OpenAI's story is not just about machines. It's about us, our hopes, our fears, our decisions. Will we use AI to enhance human potential, or to replace it? Will we ensure its benefits are shared, or allow them to concentrate in the hands of a few? As AI systems like ChatGPT become more embedded in daily life, we must ask the hard questions. Not just what AI can do, but what it should do. Not just who can build it, but who can be trusted to guide it. OpenAI began with a promise: to ensure AGI benefits all of humanity. That promise is being tested every day, in every boardroom, every line of code, every debate over regulation. And the outcome will shape the future. Not just of technology, but of civilization itself. Because when intelligence is no longer exclusive to humans, everything changes. And the real question now is, are we ready? The rise of OpenAI is part of a larger trend, where AI systems are not just augmenting human capabilities but starting to redefine them. In healthcare, large language models are aiding diagnostics and treatment planning. In finance, they're analyzing trends, detecting fraud, and managing investments. In education, they are customizing learning experiences at scale. But while the use cases multiply, so do the uncertainties. Will AI deepen the divide between those with access to cutting-edge tools and those without? Will it empower individuals or entrench corporate monopolies? How do we ensure transparency when the systems we build become increasingly complex and opaque? Regulators across the world are scrambling to catch up. The European Union introduced the AI Act, aiming to categorize AI systems by risk levels and enforce strict compliance rules. In the US, debates are heating up over whether self-regulation is enough or if federal oversight is necessary. Meanwhile, China is developing its own frameworks with different priorities. Ones that emphasize control and surveillance. In the middle of this geopolitical race, OpenAI continues to walk a tightrope. They release tools like GPTs with customization options, but also implement usage policies and safety layers. Their alignment team works to reduce hallucinations and biases. Their partnerships, especially with Microsoft, amplify their reach, bringing AI into Word, Excel, and more. Yet the company's openness is still questioned. Their shift from full transparency to more selective disclosures, especially after GPT-4, has led to concerns. Why not reveal model size? Why not publish training data sources? For a company that began with the word open, secrecy feels like a betrayal to some. But maybe it's the cost of scale. Maybe openness, like idealism, becomes harder the bigger you get. The more powerful the tool, the higher the risk of misuse. It's no longer just about progress, it's about control. As the 2030s approach, AI development is expected to accelerate further. Autonomous agents, multimodal systems, and real-time reasoning AIs are on the horizon. OpenAI's roadmap includes increasingly capable models that understand vision, audio, and context in ways that mimic or even exceed human capabilities. That's both exhilarating and terrifying. Imagine an AI that not only answers questions but anticipates needs. One that remembers your preferences, understands your emotions, and adapts its tone. It could become a digital assistant, a tutor, a therapist, or even a friend. But what happens when the line between human and machine blurs too much? What happens when we trust AI more than we trust each other? Sam Altman once said that the biggest risk isn't that AI will become evil, but that it will do what we ask it to, in ways we didn't anticipate. The real danger is not malevolence, but misalignment. Which brings us back to the core question. How do we align AI with human values when humans themselves don't always agree on what those values are? That's the challenge OpenAI faces. That's the challenge we all face. So as you listen to this story of code and controversy, of vision and volatility, remember this: AI is not destiny. It's a tool. And like any tool, its impact depends on the hands that wield it. We stand at a turning point in history. The age of artificial intelligence is no longer coming. It's here. And it's up to us to decide what kind of future we want to build. Because intelligence, true intelligence, is not just about data. It's about wisdom. And wisdom requires choice. But before we close, let's take a look at where this might all be heading. The next phase of AI evolution may not be about language models alone. We're entering the era of synthetic minds, AIs that not only communicate but act. Agents that can browse the web, manage schedules, order supplies, and delegate tasks to other models. Think of AI as a team, not just a tool. These autonomous systems may eventually power everything from household robots to national defense systems. The implications are vast, and so are the ethical stakes. Who controls these agents? How do we program ethical behavior into entities that will one day operate independently? OpenAI, for its part, continues to invest in safety research. But critics argue that the pace of development still outstrips our understanding. It's a race between capabilities and caution, and it's not clear which is winning. Beyond safety, there's the question of economics. As AI automates more jobs, what happens to employment? Will productivity gains translate to prosperity for all, or just profits for the few? Sam Altman has long promoted the idea of universal basic income, believing that AI-driven abundance should be shared. But ideas alone don't ensure equity. Implementation does. And we're still a long way from global policy consensus. Meanwhile, culture is changing too. Artists use AI to create music, films, and literature. Educators use it to personalize learning. Therapists use it for cognitive behavioral prompts. In some homes, children are already growing up talking to ChatGPT more than to their siblings. What kind of society will this create? One where knowledge is at your fingertips, but attention spans are shorter? One where AI is a tool of liberation, or a subtle form of control? The conversation is just beginning, and it needs all voices: engineers, ethicists, educators, and everyday users. Because the technology we shape also shapes us. And as OpenAI continues its journey, building the most powerful models humanity has ever known, it also writes a story that belongs to all of us. A story still unfolding. This is Glorica 26. Thanks for watching. If you found this story insightful, thought-provoking, or even a bit unsettling, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. What do you think about the future of AI? Are we heading into a golden age, or opening a Pandora's box? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss the next deep dive into the minds and machines reshaping our world. See you in the next story.